Welcome back. I'm Multeyemeteor, and I'm playing round five against Kangermu, and this is a crucial one. I think the winner of this match has a chance of going on to becoming one of the top eight that goes on to the elimination part of this tournament. Um, so let's see. In this matchup, I had three decks to choose from. I had Aura Servants, Rogues Gallery, and Goblin Gangland. And Goblin Gangland is a surefire win, definitely. Aura Servants, I built it for efficiency, and I kind of like my chances with it against his decks. Although I will say that his decks are not to look down, or is nothing to sneeze at. He actually got one of the better hands that I've ever seen, or sorry, one of the best, better selection of decks that I've ever seen in any of these fixed deck tournaments. He got Grim Procession, which he's playing right now. He got Sepulchral Strength and Obedient Dead, and he told me that he didn't have too much luck with the Grim Procession in the past and never won a tournament match with Sepulchral Strength, but still, wasn't too happy about it. So here I go ahead and make the first mistake. I wanted to be able to swing in and do a little bit of damage, and I was kind of hoping that I would draw something significant, but I forgot that Onyx Mage, when he swings in, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm an idiot. I hope he doesn't think about this. But of course he thought about it. He's just going to give it Death Touch, swing in, and do damage to me, which gets directed via Pariah to my core Spirit Dancer and kills my Spirit Dancer and takes away the Pariah. So that was a bit of a mistake. But I do have the Invisible Stalker, and I do have a Followed Footsteps, so I'm not entirely lost yet. I do have more than plenty of lands in hand, and I'm kind of hoping that I don't draw any more. So let's see how that goes. All right, my turn 4. I draw another core Spirit Dancer, which is nice, I guess. Think I might drop it as well, just to get something down, because it means that when I actually put Followed Footsteps on something, I can start drawing cards from it. So trying to get a little bit of efficiency out of my turns, even though it's not optimal. And I'm not really drawing the buff auras that I'm actually running in this deck, which is kind of annoying. So I'm really hoping that I can accelerate it by dropping Followed Footsteps on something and not draw any more lands. And there he has the Keening Apparition, I think it's called. Keening Banshee is what it's called. And I'm thinking, all right, fair enough. He kills off my core Spirit Dancer. Not a biggie, but because I'm just going to go ahead and put Followed Footsteps on this Keening Banshee. As you'll see, it works both with and against me. Just gonna swing in with an Invisible Stalker. It's not gonna do a great big deal. You could argue that perhaps I should have kept it back to kill off the Onyx Mage, but I'm really hoping that I get some buff spells that I could, or some auras that I could put on my Invisible Stalker and try to regain some footing in this match. But from now on, he'll be able to swing in with 4 points of damage, at least until I get my own Keening Banshee from Invisible Stalker. So, what does he have? He has 5 cards in hand, and probably a lot of different options, while I have 2 planes in hand, and I don't really want to show him that I have 2 planes in hand. And so far he has no reason to suspect that I have nothing but 2 planes in hand, because I have been using my mana efficiently, if not in a more ideal... Oh, nuts. Anyways, I get my own Keening Banshee here and kill off his Onyx Mage, so that's good. And I get to draw the Grand Orbiter, Augustus the Fourth. And I'm thinking it's not really going to do a lot of... Right now it's not going to be a difference maker. And I'm just going to keep those 2 lands in hand, which I think it ends up being a bit of a mistake, but still. Or it ends up kind of cluttering something I'm trying to do later. But yeah, Grand Arbiter doesn't really do much for me. So yeah, and the question is here: do I want to kill the Keening Banshee the next turn when I get another Keening Banshee, or do I want to kill? Do I want to keep getting Keening Banshees? And I'm thinking I'm doing something silly here because I should have killed this Keening Banshee and double blocked his what's it called? You know what I'm talking about. Nighthawk, of course. Nighthawk, Vampire Nighthawk. Alright, so I finally get an aura, put it on my Invisible Stalker so I can start gaining a little bit of life and perhaps work my way onto a Daybreak Coronet. But so far, I'm not. This is not my proudest moment. I think I've already made 2 big mistakes, maybe even more. Who knows? Yeah, I really feel that I should have taken the chance and just killed his Keening Banshee, but I think I end up doing that the following turn. But I didn't get any value out of. I only got blocking value out of one of my Keening Banshees there. And there we go. Of course he drops that, and he immediately drops a Doomed Traveler, which he pretty much have to if I'm not to just kill it right away next turn with my own Keening Banshee. So I'm thinking, what should I give -2/-2? And I really want to continue getting those Keening Banshees, and I'm hoping that at some point I will be able to regain enough life to stabilize and use the Keening Banshees to kill off his tiny creatures, which is a viable option. I think it's quite possible that I will be able to do that. So that's my strategy so far. That's why I made some of the choices that I did instead of just killing off his Keening Banshee, because I want to be able to take care of his side with the Keening Banshees that I get. Here's another thing, as you'll see, if I drop the Spirit Dancer on this turn, I would have had a little bit more mana for something I wanted to do later on. But I'm still waiting for the auras, and so far I'm just drawing creatures, which is not. This is not what you want with this deck, and we've discussed this many times before. There is a huge problem with this deck that is for this deck to work, you need to do a couple of things, or be able to do a couple of things. You need to draw lands consistently, you need to draw creatures consistently, and you need to draw auras consistently. If you only draw 2 or 1 out of those 3, then you're screwed, and that's why Aura Servants is a little bit inconsistent. There we go. Hopefully he doesn't have any spells. Nope, I get to kill off his Voracious Hatchling and take a lot of damage from that Falcon Wrath Aristocrat, which is very unfortunate. Next turn, though, I will be able to kill it off, but it brings me way too low. Alright, there we go. So actually, it's not bad. He's down to 1 card in hand. And I'm starting to see a possibility of stabilizing, but it's still not that good. I have a lot of Keening Banshees in hand, and I want to use them for blockers, just in case he has removal. So, I mean, as soon as my deck starts working, I'm not too concerned. I mean, it takes a board sweep for him to get back in the game. And right now, it looks like my strategy could be paying off if I do drop, or if I do draw some auras to get my Spirit Dancer and my Invisible Stalker going. It's a little clunky, my strategy here. It hasn't worked as well as it should. But now I decide to kill off the Keening Banshee, and one could perhaps make the case that I should have done that earlier, so I wouldn't take that much damage from it. But now he just goes ahead and gets a Angel of Alabaster, or whatever it's called. I didn't get the aura that I needed, but I did get a Flicker Wisp, which is not going to make a huge difference, but it will take care of his token. Again, not a huge difference maker, but a little bit of a difference maker in a situation where he's down to, or I'm down to 5 life, and it will give me a flyer. So, if nothing else, and I'm really contemplating, because it's not really what you want to be using Flicker Wisp for necessarily, but still, it could be worse. Takes care of one of his creatures, gives me a flyer, and that means that if he kills off one of my flyers, I still have a blocker for his angel, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Unfortunately, I cannot use my blocker for I cannot double block his angel and thereby dissuade him from attacking. But he's just gonna go ahead and get his angel his Keening Banshee, kill off my Keening Banshee, and now he'll be able to swing in for 4. So I'm in a pretty tight spot right now, which is awful, to say the least. Yeah. What would have been great though would be if I had drawn a pacifism, put it on his Keening Banshee, the one that I had followed footsteps on, and just kept getting the 2/2 creatures that could kill off his weenies and make his creatures a little bit weaker and so on. So finally I draw a Daybreak Coronet, drop the Core Spirit Dancer, Daybreak Coronet, and I draw a card, and look at that, I get another aura, but I didn't have enough land for it. So if I've dropped the Core Spirit Dancer a turn before and he hadn't killed it, I would have been able to put Drake Umbra on any of my creatures there, and obviously I don't have anything to deal with this threat, so this is going to be game 1 of round 5, and I'm a little unhappy about it because I felt kind of mana flooded and screwed in terms of auras. It was pretty amazing that I didn't draw a single aura for many turns, and when I actually drew one, I drew a lifelink, and then for 6 or 7 turns after or something like that, didn't draw another one. And of course he sees Castigate right there, or gets to play Castigate, and sees that I don't have any threat, takes out the Drake Umbra, and it's GG. He gets to Stevens me. But this could actually have been the turnaround, so I was about 1 turn away from actually being able to do something here. So, yeah, too bad about that. So, in order to stay in the game, actually, I'm just going to continue on to the next video. So thanks for watching. This was game 1 of round 5, and I'll see you in the next one. Later!